Welcome, everyone. It being 6 p.m. on June 3rd, 2025, I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. This time, I invite you to stand and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
All right. Approval of warrants. I will entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 25 for $394,700.08. School warrant voucher 1099 in the amount of $219,399.58, as well as general fund warrant voucher 1100 in the amount of $77,990.24.
So moved.
Seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have. What is the total to, what's the total? I didn't write anything down, I'm just curious.
The total, all that?
Yeah.
You gotta, okay, let me, hold on.
I didn't write anything down.
Oh, she's ahead of me.
Roughly 690.
She's from the finance committee. She don't want, roughly, she wants.
Closer to 692.
692,089 and 90 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got some spending requests. We got 3 from the Cemetery Commission. First one is for $647.70 for emergency vehicle repair, blown tire, replace muffler, new wipers. Boy, you really did spell this out, huh? Another one for Rusty's Tree Service, $1,000 to cut and remove 1 dead and 1 compromised tree from Cutter Cemetery, it being a safety hazard. And EMT Bow Excavating, $2,496 to excavate and repair underground water leak to eliminate excessive water bills due to issues. I will entertain a motion to approve the $647.70 for the vehicle repair, the $1,000 to cut and remove 1 dead tree and 1 compromised tree, and $2,496 to excavate and repair underground water leak to eliminate excess water bills.
So moved.
Seconded. Any discussion?
Where is, I do not know where Cutter Cemetery is. Can anybody help me with that?
You know where Smith Hanson Road is in
Yes.
town? It's on.
That little one on the left this year.
Yeah, it's on Smith Hanson Road, the corner of Smith Hanson Road and Collins Road,
Okay.
whatever that gate.
Thank you.
Collins Road, kinda, almost.
It's an old, like, Revolutionary War.
Yeah, I've seen it. I just didn't know the name of it. Thank you.
Good?
That's all.
All in favor?
All right.
All right, and we've got one for the Highway Department for rear window for the backhoe, emergency repair for $380. I will entertain a motion to approve that purchase for $380 for the rear window for the backhoe.
So moved.
Seconded. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. Now for some fun. We've got some transfer requests. Actually, you've kind of spelled this all out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. You're the best. All right. For the town collector, now we're voting on these, right? Okay. I will make a motion for the town collector to transfer $61.20 from the clerk salary 001.146.5712.00.
You don't need to read all the account numbers.
Okay, to collector postage, to postage. Unexpected postage expense when machine was down.
Second. You moved.
Okay. Any discussion?
None.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Evidently, we moved and seconded the warrants, but we didn't vote for them. Thank you, Jason. Any discussion on the warrants? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We did.
Well, you know what,
We
we'll
did.
do it again. We'll do it again. All right, so for the fire department, I will entertain a motion to transfer $1,857 from fire training to fire salary.
So moved.
Seconded, any discussion?
No.
Okay, this is to help cover the cost of fire salary. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And under the, what did I do wrong now? You're welcome, okay. Highway Department, I will entertain a motion to transfer $2,000 from care of tree warden salary to tree maintenance. You want me to go right through them? This portion of the salary won't be paid out and better used for tree work. In addition to, well, let's just do them one at a time, because I'll get,
So moved.
okay. Seconded, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will entertain a motion to transfer $7,214.07 from snow and ice vehicle repair to snow and ice salary.
So moved.
Seconded, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye. These have all been verified that there's money there for those.
Yes.
No, I know, I'm just
Yep.
stating it in case anybody's wondering.
I will entertain a motion to transfer $2,161.19 from snow and ice sand to snow and ice salt.
So moved.
Seconded, any discussion?
I have a question, but there's nobody here who can answer, I don't think. With the cost of salt last year was really high and hard to get, is now a good time to be purchasing salt and stockpiling it for next year? And do we have a place to put it?
We do.
It might be really cheap now, instead of waiting till everybody's buying it in
I
January,
think if we look
February.
at the last transfer, they might be planning to do that.
Okay,
Good?
I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
They
that's
try to
nice.
use up the last of the budget and fill up whatever space
Oh,
they have
all
in the
right.
salt shed.
Yeah.
thank you.
I will entertain a motion to transfer $2,838.81 from snow and ice sand to snow and ice salary.
So moved.
Seconded, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Part-time plowing, transfer $281.81 from highway salary to highway snow and ice gas.
So moved.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye. No discussion.
We have, I will entertain a motion to transfer $39,181.10 from highway salary to snow and ice salt.
So moved.
Seconded, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then we have a reserve fund request from the fire department. And here we've got, okay, we're trying to fill a negative balance. So I will entertain a motion to approve the request of $6,000 to be transferred to fire salary.
So moved.
Seconded, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That was painless. To me, anyway. Under old but business, tonight, we were originally planning to vote on the budget, but we are not gonna do that tonight.
Can we talk about that in a minute?
Absolutely, Kathy.
Do you have any idea when you are gonna vote on the budget? I understand that all the numbers aren't in. That's where all the numbers aren't in,
All the numbers are not in.
that's correct.
We,
So is it your plan, what is your plan to vote? You have to vote on the budget before the town meeting.
Okay. So we are in the midst of police negotiations. Okay.
And
I will not vote on a budget that isn't complete.
I get it, I
Okay.
understand, but
So
you, yeah,
we need to let that process play out.
okay.
And if everything goes well, we won't have a problem. We've got another selectmen's meeting to vote.
Yes. And that'll be cutting it.
It will be cut. What's on your mind?
Well, mean, they can't do anything about it. I just think that we're gonna be hustling. We're gonna be hustling after you
Well,
sign it,
well-
because the finance committee would like to review it again, because we don't know if you're making any changes, what's happening. We don't know what's gonna be happening. School, they don't have the school budget yet. So we were planning, I was gonna get it tonight, the budget, make copies and get the copies to the rest of the finance committee tomorrow. That was the
Okay.
plan. That's not gonna happen.
I would suspect that you're not gonna have much work to do.
Okay,
You folks have spent a great deal of time
Yep.
and energy into this process, and you've gone over line by line by line,
yes.
okay? It's been
Oh,
a tireless, thankless process, and I attended quite a few of those meetings. And by and large, the work speaks for itself.
Yes, and we anticipate that there's not gonna be a problem with
Right.
what has been presented to you, what was presented to you at the last meeting. We think that you were on board with that. However, we still have 2 or 3 things that we're unsure of. We met yesterday ourselves, we met to discuss these that we
I had
might have an issue on.
I had a long discussion with Mr. Trinacosta last night.
Last night,
Yes,
he was home last night,
yes,
okay,
he was.
okay.
So I think we're on
Okay.
good.
I did text him when I found out that you weren't gonna vote on it. Oh my, like,
Yeah, well, we were, yeah, I'm not gonna vote on the budget this time.
of course not, and I understand that.
Okay.
I just wanna make one other comment, and I'm gonna try to not show any sarcasm when I do this.
Go with your strengths. Go with your strengths, Kathy.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember, I think it was at the last town meeting, we voted to change the night of our annual meeting. It used to be the Friday after the election, which
Yes.
is May. It used to be that Friday, but we changed it to June, because all the numbers weren't being in at that time. And
Yes.
evidently, that didn't work. I can laugh.
That's
Laugh.
sarcasm. That's sarcasm.
No, it's just, hey, Mike, no,
We'd like to cut down on the meetings too,
yeah.
Yeah. But,
What do you mean cut down on the meetings?
well, I mean, not that I don't like seeing you guys. but
You mean these
especially-
meetings?
No, the town meetings.
We don't
Special
have
town.
many town meetings.
Well, you were trying to get rid of one by
Huh?
pushing it off.
No, that was the board
And we had
but
to add, and we had to add it back because
No.
because we had to do transfers.
That's usual, that's a usual thing anyway. What they used to do it just before the regular. The annual town meeting would be at 7, I guess, and a special at 6 o'clock to.
Yeah, my
go
understanding
through all
was
the-
that process couldn't wait that long.
Right, and you had to add in another
Right,
one, but it's, we don't, I don't think we have a lot of town meetings. I'm not in favor of having a lot of town meetings either,
Yeah.
quite frankly. I'm just stating that what was planned didn't happen. I guess that's the best I can say. What was planned, the reasoning for doing it it fell through.
It was all the best
And,
intentions.
and how do you fix it? We don't have a school budget yet. You don't have a school with you yet.
Yes, ma'am. You all set, Kevin?
Yeah, yeah, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I got stuff.
Okay, all right. New business. Water department would like to,
Yes.
yes.
Jamie Fremont, Water Department Superintendent. Obviously, after elections, we did not have a write-in winner. Well, we did, but then some declined.
Look at me.
So we have to go through the process of getting an appointee. We had 3 wonderful applicants, Mr. Marr, Mr. Schlegel, and Mr. Gillette. The board and I discussed, and looking at Mr. Gillette's background in construction and water treatment plants and other facilities to do with the business, we thought he would be the best person to get on board with us. So we'd like to have the selectmen appoint him as our 3rd commissioner.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for stepping up.
Yes, yeah. You have any questions, comments?
No, just, need to serve, Been on a lot of different boards in town, so.
All right, we appreciate it. I will entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Don Gillette to the Water Commission.
So moved.
Seconded. Any discussion?
No? When do you start?
Next Monday.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All in favor?
Welcome. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, you know you need to see Tara to get
Sign
sworn
it.
in. Yes. Yes. Thanks again. Oh. All right.
These are the official copies you have to.
Okay. We are going to sign the annual town meeting warrant. Got to read this through. You ready?
I'm ready.
Take turns.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of said town, qualified to vote in elections and town affairs, to meet at the North Brookfield Elementary School Auditorium in said North Brookfield on Friday evening, June 13th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Then in there to act on the following articles.
Article 1, to hear and act upon the reports of the selectmen and town officials and boards, or take any action relative thereto.
Article 2, to see if the town will vote to print the reports of the selectmen and town officials and boards for the year 2025, or take any action relative thereto.
Article 3, to see if the town will vote to fix the salaries of all elected and appointed officials of the town, and determine what sums of money will be raised, appropriated, borrowed, or transferred in the treasury to defray the charges and expenses of the town for the 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2025, including a reserve fund under the control of the Finance Committee, or take any action relative thereto. That's all one sentence.
Ooh, one breath. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer a sum of money to operate the water department for the 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2025, under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53F and 1/2, or to take any action relative thereto.
Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer a sum of money to operate the sewer department for the 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2025, under the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53F and 1/2, or take any action relative thereto.
Article 6, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept gifts, bequests, and donations of money and real and personal property given to the town, or take any action relative thereto.
Article 7, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into any and all necessary lease agreements and other dispositions of personal property or take any action relative thereto.
Article 8, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to apply for and expend funds that may be available from state and federal grants or take any action relative thereto.
Article 9, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Water Commissioners to apply for and expend funds that may be available from state and federal grants or take any action relative thereto.
Article 10, to see if the town will vote to give the town treasurer the authority to invest town funds, general cash, water enterprise funds, sewer enterprise funds, in short-term investments as the treasurer deems prudent for income purposes or take any action relative thereto.
Article 11, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell and transfer titles in the name of the town of North Brookfield to any properties or lands obtained through legally acquired tax title foreclosures or take any action relative thereto.
Article 12, to see if the town will vote pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, to establish the following FY24 spending limits for revolving funds listed in Chapter 2, Section 17 of the North Brookfield bylaws as follows. Council on Aging, $15,000. Council on Aging Senior Wheels, $7,000. Fire Training Center, $7,500. Planning Board for Engineering Services, $8,000. Cemetery Department, $15,000. Board of Health, Public Health Services, $5,000. Board of Health Vacant Properties, $25,000. Board of Health Trash Bags, $35,000. That's a lot of money in trash bags. Building permits, $10,000. Electrical permits, $15,000. Plumbing and gas permits, $10,000. Safety inspection, $5,000. Storage units, $10,000. Board of Health Tobacco Control, $25,000. Police Department records request, $250, or take any action relative thereto.
Article 13, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds a sum of money to the North Brookfield Emergency Squad for payment of contracted services or take any action relative thereto.
Article 14, to see if the town will vote to accept a sum of money as the town's apportionment of FY 2026 Chapter 90 funds or take any action relative thereto.
Article 15, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen on behalf of the town to petition the general court for passage of a special law substantially as provided below. The legislature may make clerical or editorial changes in form only to the bill unless the Board of Selectmen approves amendments to the bill before enactment by the legislature. The Board of Selectmen is hereby authorized to approve amendments that shall be within the scope of the general public objectives of this petition or take any other action in relation thereto. An act following print-free digital legal notices for the town of North Brookfield, Section 1. Purpose. The purpose of this act is to allow the town of North Brookfield, including the Board of Selectmen, the School Committee, the Planning Board, and all other elected or appointed boards or committees or municipal officials to satisfy the legal notice requirements entirely by digital publications in light of the lack of an available adequate print newspaper in the community.
Section 2, process. Where legal notice in a newspaper or a newspaper of general circulation is required by statute, bylaw, or judicial order, alternative means of posting such notice as specified in Section 3 of this Act may be used if approved by a majority vote of the public body or at the discretion of the municipal official legally requiring to post such notice. Section 3, means of legal notice publication. Notwithstanding Massachusetts general law, I don't even know how to say that. See Chapter 4. Chapter 4, Section 13B? Oh, huh? I'm learning. And subject to Section 2 of this act, whenever legal notice in a newspaper or newspaper of general circulation is required by statute, by law, or judicial order, such notice requirement shall be satisfied by posting notice in one or more of the following places. A, a print newspaper of local general circulation. I'll let you pick the next one up. B, a newspaper's website.
You're doing great.
C, websites reporting local news and opinion, which satisfy the criteria for digital publication as set forth in General Law, Chapter 4, Section 13B. D, a statewide website that may be maintained as a repository for such notices. Or E, a townwide website that may be maintained as a repository for such notices.
Section 4, legal requirements. Nothing set forth in this act shall be construed to alter or amend the timing requirements of the publication of legal notices set forth in the Massachusetts General Laws, bylaw, or judicial order. Section 5, this act shall take effect upon its passage.
Article 16, to see if the town will vote to amend the general bylaws of the town, Section 17F, by adding a new section to establish a tobacco control revolving fund for the use by the Board of Health under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, or take any other action relative to their thereto.
Article 17. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to amend the general bylaws of the town, Section 17F, by adding a new section to establish a records request revolving fund for use by the police department under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53E and a half, or take any other action relative thereto.
Hereof fail not and make due return of this warrant with your doings thereon to the town clerk at the time and place of said meeting as foresaid, given under our hands this third day of June 2025. So we can vote. Sign that. Sign that.
Ready for the special? Special. I can do this. This is short.
Oh, yeah.
In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of said town qualified to vote in elections and town affairs to meet at the North Brookfield Police Station in said North Brookfield on Tuesday, the 24th day of June, 2025, at 5:45 p.m. to act upon the following articles, namely, Article 1, to see if the town will vote to transfer a sum of money from free cash to Board of Selectmen Downtown Development Engineering expense or take any action relative thereto. Hereof fail not, make due return of this warrant, blah, blah, blah.
With your doings thereon to the town clerk at the time and place of said meeting as for said, given under our hands on this third day of June 2025. You're running out of gas there. All right. Mr. Jeff Holland. Sure,
Where do you want me to go?
wherever you're comfortable.
Make it short and brief, I guess. So I was here at the front of this, Jeff Holland from Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. I am the Senior Transportation and Planning Engineer. We are working with the town currently on a strap grant request to the Commonwealth for the replacement of the sidewalks from on North Main Street from basically the end of the Complete Streets project up to Route 148. We are working in conjunction with Mass DOT, who's also in the process of going to do an MOU with the town to do a, under the municipal paving program, the repaving of Route 67 from the North Brookfield line to Spring Street. They do that, which they do basically paving only. They are going to be, so that program is under, it's a state numbered route, but municipally owned, which 148 is 67 in North Brookfield. It's a program they've been doing for 7 or 8 years across the Commonwealth, distributing the funds throughout each of their districts. So we have been working with the town. At the last meeting, we had discussed about possibly looking at having Mass DOT stop at 148 in calendar year 25 and do calendar 26 to allow for the strap grant, which unfortunately we won't know if we get the strap grant until November of 25. And any grant applicant or funding would be signed by the town sometime usually in January. So the construction of the sidewalks would be done in 26. We are submitting the grant tomorrow. I believe that we need a vote for you to authorize us to submit that grant. We are working with Tara from the town clerk in the highway department to do the application. Currently, we're sort of working with Mass DOT, but sort of in, I don't want to say in conflict, but we're trying to work together. Excuse me. So the grant that we're doing is actually for resetting the granite curbing, either replacing the bituminous curb that's there now in front of the post office, sections of North Main between Grove and 148 on the east side, and in front of the cemetery here on the west side of North Main, or putting in granite curbing. We are also going to be relocating the crosswalks that are currently located in locations that are non-compliant with both federal and state ADA. We walked with the safety committee on Friday to come up with the most logical locations, and they're shifting 10 feet, 20 feet either way of where they are. The one at Mount Pleasant will stay in the same location. The one in front of the church, Catholic Church, St. Joseph's, will shift slightly to the north, because the current location, so a crosswalk cannot enter into a driveway. Cannot terminate a driveway, it has to terminate at a non-driveway location. Also can't have a pole in them or a catch basin. All your ones now either have a pole, a catch basin, or a driveway. So they all have to get moved slightly. So we walked with the safety committee on Friday, came up with the logical locations of where to place them, and we're gonna both send that notification to Mass DOT. If the strap grant comes in first, then we will do that as part of the strap grant. So we're sort of doing funding through both. Obviously, if Mass DOT comes in and replaces the handicap ramp, which they're obligated to do under Federal Highway Administration's guidelines. If there's a crosswalk there, they have to replace it, and they have to put the handicap ramps in. They don't have to replace the sidewalk, just the ramp. So you have a non-compliant sidewalk, but you have to have a compliant ramp, which infinite wisdom of Federal Highway. So we're working in tandem, but also sort of, in two side paths, so that ideally by FY 26 or calendar year 26, curbing, sidewalk, and the road will be done from the Braintree line all the way to Spring Street. That also gives time for water department to get some valves potentially to fix in the center or along in North Main if possible.
Okay, Jeff, I gotta be honest with you, what you're saying does not jive with my understanding of the situation.
Okay, go.
My understanding of the situation was we were gonna step out of the way and let the DOT do the thing.
You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. So they are not going to replace any of the curbing. So we're still doing the grant for the curb.
Okay.
Curb and sidewalk. So again, we're doing it sort of parallel.
Okay, so you lost me at the water department.
So we're hoping that depending on the timing, that Jamie will be able to do some of the valve work in Main Street. Ideally, it should be done now. If you can't, it can't.
Okay.
We're not gonna stop MassDOT.
Okay.
We just don't know their timing yet.
Right.
They're still working on the design, and then they'll come to the select board for the signing of an MOU at some point.
Okay.
Should be a month, could be 2. I can't speak for MassDOT.
So if they get to the crosswalks first,
They have to put them in.
they'll be doing it.
Right, so as I said, we're doing a parallel.
Yeah.
And then what we would do as part of the strap grant, obviously not do the handicap ramps. We would just connect to the ramps with new sidewalk and curbing.
Okay, okay. So either way, the strap pays for the sidewalks.
Correct. That's the goal, to try to get a sidewalk all the way from downtown up to Route 148.
Okay,
That's the plan. But we're kind of going in depending on the timing. Ideally, MassDOT would do it. But we're sending them the locations the same as if we were doing it, we're sending those same locations to MassDOT.
okay,
Okay?
okay.
Questions?
Anybody?
Does this mean that the road on North Main Street is just going to get fixed, there's no interference, and it could happen this year?
Correct.
Okay.
But that will be up to the DOT.
Yep.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, it is currently slated for calendar year 25.
Yep, okay. Because it needs to be done. It's bad.
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
Correct. No argument.
Anybody else?
You got any other questions?
What about if they do the road before the sidewalks?
We would have to come in and we would have we'd have to do some, I won't say damage to the road, but we would have to cut out a foot of the road to put the curbing, to reset the curbing. Most of the curb on North Main's in pretty good condition. There are sections that are
Bad.
poor, really bad. We would have to come in, cut out a foot, be enough that you can reset the curb, pour concrete from it to put it in, and then any spot, if it's gonna be bituminous curb like there is now, you have to mill out about a foot in front of it because you want the curb on top of the binder, not on top of the top. And then the town, you'd have to go in and repave that section,
Now,
and then infrared it.
yeah. Now, if they do end up doing a road, and from my understanding, as I've worked with a lot of this stuff, the state won't let you touch their road unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, the difference is it's your road.
Okay, but the state's doing
The
it?
state's doing the work because it's a municipally numbered route,
Okay.
but it's you own it. So so North Main Street, Route 67, like 148 was an old county road.
Right.
When the county dissolved, all the county roads got transferred maintenance and ownership to the municipalities.
So you can still do the walkways after
Correct.
they're all done?
Correct. Just a little bit more work.
Yeah.
Now, the vast majority of the curbing is granite.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
We're actually putting in the grant to put all granite.
Nice.
Obviously, it looks nicer. It holds up a lot longer.
Yeah.
And I said, most of the granite curbs in pretty decent condition. There are a couple locations where it's sunk, it's moved, they just have to be reset. I know there's one near the church, I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's almost looks like there's a manhole cover or something in the middle of the sidewalk, but
Yeah.
there isn't.
It's down pretty good.
So,
Nancy?
Quick question, both sides of the road, right?
yes, so we're going from Central Street on the east side to 148. And on the west side, it's probably from Maple up, all the way to Hillside.
Gotcha, thank you.
And that will terminate at Hillside at the crosswalk that's there now.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Can I change the topic on it?
We can try, sure.
Mount Pleasant.
Yes.
Uh,
The CDBG, I'll have to find, you want more answers?
Well, I've had some folks ask me how things are going and kind of where we're at, and
I can find out.
okay. We're before the bidding phase on the bidding process in the second phase?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think Mount Pleasant is already bid. That one's done. I believe, I'll get some more information.
Okay.
That's on a
Okay.
different section of CMRPC, that's on the planning section. And we're actually in 2 different buildings, but I can find out. My office is in DOT's office, which for District 3, it's easy, I just walk upstairs.
Yeah.
But I'll find out from Joe
Thank you.
Ferguson.
Thank you.
And I know he put in the grant to do, request to do, I think it's South Common and a couple over there.
I spoke to Joe today.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I spoke to Joe today, and phase 2, we are entering the bidding process to get the contract. And phase 2 all should be complete by the fall. Because it is the drainage issues they're gonna be
Yep.
working on. And so it's going to be permanent pavement that they're putting in, and that's why they have to go out for a different contract.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Glad I can help.
All right. Anybody? Nobody?
That's it.
Thank you, Jeff.
Perfect, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a nice short rest of the meeting.
Have a good one.
You too.
We're gonna get to the public comment period, but I kind of wanted to. Hi, Karen.
Karen.
Stole the pen. Sorry.
We invited you to kind of tell us about the food collaborative.
Yes,
And are you prepared for that?
yes,
Perfect.
it's all up here.
Thank you.
So first I want to thank you for inviting us to talk about the food collaborative and also apologize. We were established the end of July of last year, and a year later, we're finally here saying hi, and this is what we do. So I appreciate the town's patience. A lot of things happened pretty quickly, and it was a race.
I don't think there's any need to apologize.
Okay, well, anyway, the collaborative came to be based on the issues that surrounding towns and our town was experiencing, and that was food insecurity. So there were several people in town, we knew each other, or we heard of each other, that were individually helping the food pantries. And we thought, geez, if we all got together, maybe we'd stop mirroring each other's, what we're doing and save on manpower and possibly money and the greater good. So we got together, we shared the same vision, and our mission initially was that we would just have a big food hub. And we were gonna reach out to the local food pantries that have given their heart and soul into helping this town, the churches, the senior center, and let them know that if you need support, we're here. So that way, we sort of eliminated the scramble when people needed food. So we thought, okay, Celia's gonna call us and tell us she needs 5 boxes of cereal, and we're gonna run right up there and do that. So we thought, we need a place to put this. We reached out to the school and spoke to Tim McCormick, and there was already a food pantry up there, and they had a program, Friday Backpacks, so kids were going home with food. So we just basically supersized that room. And then we thought, well, I might think everybody needs toilet paper. Nancy might think everybody needs spaghetti. Before we just go run rogue, how are we gonna find out what people need? And the thought was, let's send out a survey. So anybody with a school-aged child got a survey, and then we brought the survey to the senior center, 2 senior housings, and the low-income housing. And we had little survey boxes there, and we thought we would check them weekly. The response we got was really overwhelming, to see the needs and how many people needed things. So we had to change our mission a little, that we weren't just gonna be this food hub, that when people called, we needed to do more. So for example, there were seniors who were saying that they can't cook for themselves anymore, or their families didn't want them near the gas stove. There was young families that only had 1 car, so they couldn't get to the food pantries that were open on that specific day. And there was on and on and on it went. So we all got together, we formulated the committee, and we went out there and started asking for donations. And we were getting a couple bags of this,
and we're going to the grocery store and we're getting a $50 gift certificate for this. And so we were sporadically putting food at the senior housing and the low-income housing, but nobody knew when we were coming. And we started to notice that people were waiting for us. So we met again and said, you know, we need to do a schedule. People need to know when the food's coming, because how are we helping them with their food insecurity if they're still worried of when it's getting here? We have partnerships with local farms, Stillman Farms, Howe Farm, Matruzzi Farm. So we came up with a schedule. On Tuesdays, senior housing gets fresh vegetables and goodies. We usually get snack donations. The Girl Scouts donated a lot of Girl Scout cookies, so the seniors are really happy that they got their vegetables and the Girl Scout cookies, and that's on Tuesday. Some things that we were hearing is that the seniors would just love a home-cooked meal. So we reached out to Connect Restaurant and the Pizza Palace. They donate 70 meals a week to our seniors. We have a handful of volunteers. Tomorrow, we'll go to the seniors, and tonight, a volunteer is calling all the seniors to let them know what's on the menu. They get to pick what they want, and that's delivered on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we go to C&S Grocer in Westfield, and we get a donation of frozen food. So we bring that back to the back of the high school, and there are high school kids that need to get the community service. They help us unload, make the bags. There's many volunteers there. And there's families at that time that can come, line up, and they get a bag of non-perishables, and they get a bag of frozen food. And then Nancy and her group of volunteers deliver to over 70?
Over 70 families.
Over 70 families, because they either don't have cars, they have no transportation, or they don't drive, which was really a barrier to some of the food pantries. So we're unique in the sense that we deliver. And then there are families that Thursday, we can't deliver to them, they're not home, they're working, so we have chest freezers at our house, and they can stop by and they get their bag of frozen food and non-perishables. It's been a long journey, and we're helping 140 households?
122 this week.
And every week, more and more sign up. We also have people that drop off because they're okay now, which is a nice thing to see. And then as soon as somebody drops off, 3 more people sign up. And it's just gonna keep growing because the need for food, it's a struggle for a lot of people. I mean, I have grown children with decent jobs, they have houses and kids, and they still struggle, so we wanna be there. In everything we do, we want to make sure it's sustainable. So the CNS frozen food is a weekly thing. We get a monthly donation of non-perishables from the CNS in Winterloch, Connecticut. When we post the pictures on happenings, and we even have our own Facebook page now. So when we post those pictures, there's a lot of likes. But the old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's a great picture. It's great that we can do this, but it's a struggle to do it. We need help. There's many ways people can help out. We have a donation box at 70 Bake Street for non-perishables. They can make monetary donations to the Coalition for a Healthy NB, P.O. Box 98. Because all those pictures that you see, it takes a dozen volunteers, it's a dozen man hours, it's an awful lot of work. And we're in it for the long haul, but we need to have a little more support from our town. And I find anytime the collaborative has asked for volunteers, and we're specific, we need meal delivery on this day, there are people that will help. So this is our big ask from the community, to not only help us, but if you know somebody that's in need, they can, we now have a online that people can sign up. If they're not in an area that they get the survey. Every time we post something, we put a little blurb that this is how you can reach out to us. nbfoodcollaborative@gmail.com. And, we don't turn anybody down. We're not the food police, we don't need to see an income where if you say you need food, then we're gonna help you. But as we grow, the need for help is pretty significant, and I don't think we thought we were gonna be as big as we were, but it's a passion for all of us, and we're just gonna keep doing what we need to do, but we do need some help. And when we get surplus, which there's really no such thing as surplus food, but when we get a large donation, say Harvey Trucking, their trucks come back to the lot and it's filled with Oreo cookies, Ben & Jerry's. We make sure we take enough for a month for our seniors and all our families. And there's still another pallet there that will get thrown out. So we go and we get that pallet for the community, not for people with just food insecurity. And we've been very fortunate that Brooke and Tim Canada last use their free farm stand, and that's been a hit. So we try to give back to the community too. Like, you know, we don't have to go get that pallet because we don't need it, but wouldn't it be nice to give to our community? And so we just need a little help back. And that brings me to the free farm stand. It's truly been a blessing that we've been able to put extra things there. But when we've been there, and you know, at first we weren't posting that we were going to put things, and then people were saying, hey, we didn't know anything about it. So we started posting, and the cars would come, and there'd be a line of 10, 15 cars. Not necessarily parked right to the curb. People are jumping out in the street, and to me it's a little bit of a safety issue. So the collaborative is wondering, would we be able to do a free farm stand at the little park, right where their little library is? People have been very generous with their input. Brandon had mentioned a spot at the Common, and you know, was really kind of thinking about what we could do, and other people have mentioned some spots. My concern is, I don't want to go near the Common. Not that there's anything wrong with the Common, but if something's going to happen, you know, as a teenager, if I was walking in the park at night and there was a bunch of vegetables on the stand, I was a good teenager, but I'd be hucking a few. I would, you know, and I will take full responsibility for that stand, the maintenance of it, any trash or anything. And Brooke can attest to that. Every time we drop something off, I was frequently reaching out to her, you know, do I need to pick anything up? Has anything gone bad? Is there trash? Or just physically going up there and checking myself. And I know a key point that Brandon mentioned is in the summertime when the sidewalks are gonna happen. So I did talk to Shanti Algu, who, you know, is the manager at the gas station. And I said, you know, in the summertime when this happens, if people parked just to go get the food and leave, would you have a problem with that? And she said no. So that's another avenue, because you can go sideways. And it's out of the way. It's right where the little library stand is, and the little book, you know, the book stand there. And I think it's centrally located, it's handicap accessible, and it's easy for people to get to. And that's not something that we're concerned that people are gonna be taking the food. That's what it's for. It's not earmarked for people with food insecurity.
So your concerns are parking and safety?
Yeah,
That's why you chose that location?
Yeah, when we, you know, right on Gilbert Street, it's the main road, and
Right.
when we're unloading Ben & Jerry's and everybody knows we're unloading, people are jumping out of the cars, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna get hit, you know, so it's.
I mean, it is Ben & Jerry's.
It is. You know, and I'd jump too, I would. So, you know, I just wanna make sure it's safe and, you know, not right on the main road, and it's a little tucked away, but it's easy access. And, you know, with the gas station there, the town office, there's a lot of eyes. So, you know, maybe not everybody's gonna report if they saw something, but chances are somebody might, you know.
I mean, if something happened at night, vandalism or whatever, what have you, right?
Can you leave your contact information with me before you leave?
Sure, yeah.
Anywhere I can meet you up there?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
walk it and look at it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Does anybody have any
What else-
questions? I know I babbled really fast. And I don't
What other locations have you considered?
Well, Brandon had mentioned, Well, Brandon, you.
The town common, you mentioned that one. Was there
Yeah.
any others that you might have considered?
There was a mention at like right where the bench is at the town offices, but I think the stand would kind of be in the way of the window, and I'm a window person, if I was sitting there, I'd be very annoyed.
That's not a
And,
good idea.
you know, there's not much parking there either.
Yeah.
My suggestion was North Common Street parking area. If you're looking towards the common on the right-hand side, there's a wide shoulder kind of where the porta potty is now. I thought that'd be more accessible. There's actually a handicap space right there, and you know. if you're
I just
concerned-
think it's kind of too close to the common, and, I mean, you're even having trouble with people messing around with trees, and, you know, I don't want to set us up for failure, so, I mean, I appreciate everybody's input, and, you know, at your suggestion, I did go and look, and I've looked at every place, because I don't always think, just because it's my idea, it's the right idea.
Well, the other thing is too, the stand moves, right?
Exactly, you know, so if it doesn't work there, I'm not that prideful that we can't, okay, well, we didn't pick the right spot, so let's reevaluate, and that's what we've done the whole year, we're constantly reevaluating to make things better.
What about the lot that's right next door, here? Across from the Pizza Palace, is that used for anything?
A helicopter.
Helicopter?
Is it though? Are they using
Yeah,
it?
that's
Oh,
the
yeah, okay.
emergency helicopter second
Okay.
landing.
Well, in the back, I mean, way in the back is where the helicopter would land, and you know, but.
Sounds like the little park is your preference.
Or
It is,
triangle?
it's a cute little park, it would be
Let's
made really nice.
let's
It's
look
not
at
gonna be a cheesy piece. It'll look nice. It'll add to the park, and it could draw people to actually sit down and having a picnic or something.
let's look at it.
All right, thank you.
So, let's talk about the donations. You're looking for food donations on Bates Road. What was the address on this?
70 Bates Street.
70 Bates Street?
Yep. There's a donation box right at the end of the driveway where people can just drive by, non-perishables. We asked that nothing expired. That would be a huge help. And
Okay. And then you've got a P.O. Box. The North Brookfield Food Collaborative has a P.O. Box 98 for
Yeah,
monetary.
we're under the umbrella of Coalition for a Healthy North Brookfield, because they're the
Okay,
the
okay,
nonprofit.
okay.
Right, that's the nonprofit, that's the 501c3. So if you're gonna make out a check, it would have to be to the Coalition for a Healthy NB.
Coalition.
No. I'm watching Tina.
Yeah. You're making out a check.
Don't make direct eye contact.
And
Okay, so-
volunteers. You
Yes.
need volunteers.
We always need volunteers.
Yeah.
So we have been fortunate that one of the relationships that we are currently procuring is with Loving Spoonful. And they go to grocery stores. They have contracts with all the grocery stores. So we could potentially be getting milk, eggs, meat products, bread. And that will be a situation that, you know, they'll deliver to us. But we've also working with another organization, which sounds hopeful. I'm not gonna mention names yet, just in case it's not, but that will be another drive potentially to Worcester to pick up food. So people who have a pickup truck that, you know, are interested, if we call, can you pick up the food and bring it here? And we can always use volunteers to deliver the meals on Wednesday and Thursday.
What are the hours? Mornings?
The hours on Wednesday are 11:15 to, it's usually wrapped up about 12:30. And then Thursday is,
So we start around 11:30 in the morning, and usually deliveries are complete by 1:30.
And that's what you need most help with, is deliveries?
because people go on vacations too, and then to be able to supplement somebody, you know, or even cutting down, like sometimes people have how many that they have to deliver to, you know,
Yeah.
quite a few. And our goal is to make sure we don't burn out any volunteers, so less is better. you know, if you wanna pick up a little more along the way, but I prefer less deliveries and you're happy and things are good and you're not tired, and have more volunteers.
Volunteers also spend a little time with their people. So, you know, they get the same deliveries every week, and a lot of them have formed relationships with some of the recipients, so. It's kind of nice if you have 6 people and you're gonna deliver for 6 people and you wanna spend like 10, 15 minutes per person, then, you know, you kind of, it's.
Well, I can imagine to some people, that's probably the only social interaction they get.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I think another set of eyes on some people is a good thing, especially our senior citizens.
Keeping tabs on.
Yeah. And we have volunteers now that, you know, out of the scope of the collaborative, but are picking up medications for seniors, are picking up their groceries, are taking their dogs to the groomers. And, you know, it's not a lot of time, but it means the world to these people, and it keeps them independent. They don't have to leave their house because we can take care of this for you. And, you know, I just think the relationship part of it is such a bonus, and everybody that we have is, our volunteers are so amazing, and so, like that monsoon rain we had. I was driving through town and I saw 3 they were sopping, soaking wet, and when they, big smile on their face, you know. They're all passionate in what they're doing, and we just couldn't ask for a better group. We've been really fortunate. And Tina hasn't bashed us on Facebook, so I guess we're doing all right. Sorry.
Oh, you're stacking stones.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, that was wrong.
All right.
Any questions, or?
Can I say something about following up? You would never, she would never tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you this. Our state representative, Donnie Berthiaume, has chosen as heroine of the Commonwealth of his district, he has chosen Karen.
Wow.
It's a big deal. It's a very
That
big
is huge.
deal for the town of North Brookfield, and
That's
we
very
need
big.
it. It's great, we need it right now. You know, it's not just the food that Karen does. She has like a mini farm at her home. She takes in animals that people are going to throw out, give away. She has a barn, she built a barn. She built a barn. She has 6 mini horses, a regular horse, goats, alpacas, chickens, I don't know, all kinds of animals at her home. And in this barn, she has, I think it's 60 feral cats that she has taken in and tends to, feeds them, takes care of them on her own dime.
Wow.
So she's.
Don't forget the potbelly pig, because she has
Oh,
really
yeah, a
bonded.
potbelly.
Nancy's really
Anyway.
bonded with Daisy.
And she has her own business too, involved with healthcare. So she's a busy lady and
So,
donates a lot
Sounds
of
it.
her time.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and, you know, accepting the award, in my mind, I am accepting it for the collaborative, because not one person is the collaborative. And I did ask Senator Berthiaume's office, well, how come the whole collaborative can't? And unfortunately, they only recognize an individual. So when I accept this award, it will be for all of us. It will be for the collaborative, it will be for the community that is graciously helping us, it will be for North Brookfield and all of us, so that's why I do it.
it's huge.
Thank you, Karen. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Yes.
And appreciate you coming in tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Public comments.
Public comment.
Huh? Are we doing that now?
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna do it now.
Yes, I have a question. You know, Friday night, there is a meeting scheduled, a public hearing scheduled with the school department, I believe, it's up at the school.
Yep, Kiva.
Is it still on? Is there any changes at all?
I haven't heard of anything changing. I haven't heard of anything changing.
Okay. It's important for people to be there.
Agreed,
Absolutely.
agreed.
Make your best effort.
Yes.
Be at
Is
the
it-
public
is it-
hearing for the school committee budget.
Will there be coffee?
Right. Probably
If you-
There
not.
should be.
Yeah,
Can you bring coffee in? Because I bring coffee. I've never been to a school committee
Small
meeting.
extra,
I plan to
extra.
go.
Small extra. Oh, you know? Where you from?
anybody else?
Oh.
Miss the Kingsbury.
Yeah, Sunday night we had our first concert on the Common. I think it went fairly well. Next one is scheduled for June 28th. The next one will be Tabula Blank doing karaoke and a dance party, so I hope people come out. The Long Branch hot dog cart will be there, which is always a big hit, so come on out and enjoy the evening. Hopefully it won't rain, we won't have to reschedule.
Yeah.
So that'd be June 20th, Saturday, 6 p.m.
Good job, Brendan.
Well,
Great job.
Nancy,
Well,
supposed to be behind us.
she's not here, but.
Conveniently left right before.
Yes.
She's getting hangry. She said she had to go eat.
Yeah. Tina?
I just wanted to ask, when was the concert?
It was
That was
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
No,
It
Sunday.
was Sunday.
Oh,
because
it's
of the rain.
Sunday, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
of, yeah, the
Yeah.
rain.
But I didn't, I'm up on North Main Street.
Yeah.
And usually when things are going on the Common, I can hear
Yeah.
them. So I was looking forward to really,
Well,
but I couldn't.
And it
yeah, I
was
think the
quiet.
issue was when they were setting it up, it started raining. So they opted not to set the full PA up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now,
They-
see, that makes sense now.
And I think they were trying to keep, the amount
From
of
getting
money worth of
electrocuted.
equipment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or ruining their equipment.
Right.
So, that I understand.
And I have to add that the band was very happy with the setup we have down there now. Getting them up off the ground and with the electricity right on that side of the shed to hook up their equipment to. John was, first time he'd been down there since, I guess we did the platform, and thought it was great.
He's a happy guy.
He was a happy guy.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, new guy made a mistake. We need to rewind here.
What'd you forget?
We never voted on that grant.
And there's a letter right there in your folder,
Okay.
and that's regarding the grant, and that's your support of the grant application.
Oh, okay. Okay, probably should read it, huh?
Uh,
Okay. Letter of support, Community One Stop for Growth. Sorry, Jeff. I'll do better next time. From North Brookfield Board of Selectmen, May 27th, 2025. The North Brookfield Board of Selectmen, representing the town of North Brookfield, have knowledge of and support for this Community One Stop application. This grant is a request to receive funding to rehabilitate the sidewalks along North Main Street to complement the efforts of the Downtown Development Committee's Complete Streets and Shared Street grants, as well as the Mass DOT Municipal Paving Program. That was a heck of a sentence. This is a major pedestrian route for senior citizens to avail of the town services and amenities from the senior housing on North Main Street. This is also a route taken by students walking to and from school. This area serves as our town central business, recreation, and entertainment locations. This project would help to continue the endeavors of the North Brookfield Downtown Development Committee, Mass DOT, and spur future growth and development for our town. Thank you for your consideration of this application, this grant application, and if you require any additional information, please contact this office. Sincerely, Jason Petraeus. I will entertain a motion to approve the CMRPC and applying for the STRAP grant on the town's behavior, on the town's behalf. Lots of words tonight.
So moved.
Seconded. Any discussion?
Nope, no discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
We have some announcements.
we do. You wanna take that?
Sure, an
Okay.
announcement, two announcements. One from the town clerk, that dog licenses are now late. If you haven't licensed your dog, there's now a $10 late fee per household in addition to the license fee. Only 560 of the over 900 dogs in town have been licensed. Please contact the town clerk's office if you have any questions. An announcement from the town collector, the collector's office will be closed Monday, June 9th and Thursday, June 12th. The town clerk's office will be closed on June 5th. That's it for announcements.
Okay. You got anything?
No, not at this time.
You're good. All right, well, thank you all for coming. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.